But
Mm.
when I was thinking about that, it made me think about, you know, what we spoke of last time concerning like getting into a relationship, what we're looking for, and
Mm.
kind of what we attract to ourselves. It got me to think
Man.
about just the process of letting go, because that part of getting all excited, you know, then
Right.
then the difficulties start to begin, and however long it lasts, then eventually there's a letting go process.
Right.
For you, like, is letting go, and of course this is also reminiscent of your first post,
Mm-hmm.
because especially like how easy is it for you to begin that process of letting go, and for you typically how long does it last?
Man, that's a great question, man. You know, you know, they said give your time to heal. You know, some people, you know, they jump from relationship to relationship. I remember I heard some years ago for somebody from the street, a man once said the best way to get over a woman is to replace her with a new one.
Yeah.
But that's not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's, you know, because we taking luggage from relationship to relationship.
Right.
But I say it depends on the person. What I mean, it might take me 3 months to heal, it might take somebody else 3 years.
Yes,
Somebody else might take them 3 minutes or 3 days, you know.
right, right.
You know, so it depends on the person. And then it depends on the history with that person,
Right.
you know, because I say this, and I'm not proud to say this, but I've been married a couple times and divorced a couple times.
Right.
And each divorce, then each one of them had their own effect, but it didn't affect me as the one prior previous.
I see what you mean.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. One of my divorces, I was already checked out mentally.
Right.
I was gone. I was just there. One, because I know Allah hates divorce.
Right.
And two, because when you have a child and children in the middle, you don't really want to be quick to do it, especially as men, because the mother, if it's not a son, usually the mother takes the daughter.
Right.
You know, and if you went to court, they probably rule most time for the daughter go to the mother because they think or you sometimes it don't even have to be a daughter, it could be a son. They think the mother be the best fit because, you know, just like in our teachings, 75% of the work or the mission or the teachings is with the woman. Right. And I always say a woman don't teach from the cradle to the grave, she teaches from the womb to the grave. Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, I hope I answered. Yeah, it all depends. Yeah, you know, it depends on the person. Yeah, and, you know,
and having children, does it, like, I know when you think about staying together for the children and are we a good fit? Does are we a good fit? Does it lose its relevance when you have children and thinking, hey, probably being together is probably the best thing?
Brother, we hey, this what this is all about, speaking straight words, keeping it 100, keeping it real. I know men right now that men married 20, 30, 40 years. They like I was, they already checked out. Yeah. I had men tell me straight up, I don't even have sex with my wife. Right. I'm like, man, I said, that's like you in prison, you know, and they don't want to get divorced because of the child. The man don't want to pay child support, right, or she don't want to get divorced because she's a stay-at-home wife and she don't want to get a job. So, you know, she stay, he gonna provide for her. Right. And they got property, they probably bought their cars, they got a house, they got land, they got a business, and they don't want to divide that up. So they stay together because it's convenient.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want a marriage like that. And that's why I think I'm bad at relationships, because one, I came from the streets. I never thought about getting married till I joined the Nation of Islam.
Right.
So marriage is hands-on training. I think, let's keep it real. I think there should be some courses and training before people get married. Because sometimes, and let's not say sometimes, most times, a lot of us get married for the wrong reason.
Yes, sir.
One is legal fornication. I'm a man of God. I'm a woman of God. I don't want to fornicate, so we get married.
Right.
Or you're lonely.
Right.
Or the woman could be lonely. Or she want a man to take care of her. And the man want a woman because, he might don't have cook, or even if he cook, he probably don't know how to wash clothes and not a good, clean, right. Clean well. So he like, I need a woman. Right. So some people get married not because of love, it's because it's a need.
I see what you mean. Yes, I see what you mean. Many times I've listened to relationship shows. I really like listening to Brother Nuri. Mm-hmm. And I like listening to Minister Farrakhan because, Brother Nuri, I remember Brother Nuri was saying that, having your marriage and your mission, the two have to have a similar agreement in terms of how they plan to have their faith. And sometimes even having the same faith doesn't necessarily always mean that you're the right fit. And you bring up a real point, which is what I was going to, was having the skills to be in a relationship.
Right.
I question myself the same way, because I started to ask myself some weeks ago, well, what would they say was the reason why they decided they wanted to leave? And as I reflect back, I get, oh, you're a very good father. Well, at least this is from with my children's mother. Oh, you're a good father, but our relationship, like, we're not compatible. And so I said, well, how big is compatibility? And for you, what thing do you believe in yourself is difficult for you to get along with?
Muslim says my personality.
Yes, sir.
See, people look at me, they see me. They say, oh, look, he got a soft voice. He look kind of fragile, he wear glasses. Mm-hmm. I'm not perfect. I try to be a humble man. And if I looked how I looked before I joined the Nation of Islam, then Islam didn't do nothing for me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? If I looked straight like that young man that joined the Nation of Islam at 19, that was a gang member and a dope dealer and an atheist and a womanizer, then Islam didn't do nothing for me. My point is, Islam changed me. And I don't care what people say. They could say a lot of things negative about me, but if they saw the before and after, they said, "Ooh, I'd rather deal with the after," But people, they don't like my personality. Sometimes when I say personality, when I get upset,
right? Because
some people think, because they think I'm a pushover, right? I'm like David Banner. I always like to quote David Banner. Yeah. And he always say, before he turned into the Credible Hawk.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, I can't hear you. Something happened where I can't hear you. I lost your audio. Yeah, I know you're talking, but I can't hear you. There you go. That's better. That's it.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Wow.
You stopped at David Banner.
Yeah, David Banner, before he turned into the Credible Hawk.
Yes.
He always tell people, please don't make me angry. You're not gonna like me when I get angry.
Right.
And then when you turn into the Incredible Hulk, he's not David Banner. He's the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
So I have a personality, and I call that personality, the old me, D Holmes. That's the. You ain't gonna like D Holmes. You talk crazy to me and pop off or try to put your hands on me.
Right.
You gonna re-stimulate D Holmes, you know, and you're not gonna like me when I'm angry. So I'm a humble brother. We all humble, but we all got a side that some people don't like.
Yeah.
And that's my personality, you know, and I'm trying to mature as I get older. You know, my younger days, I was very immature. If a woman I'm in a relationship and she say something to hurt me, like for example, she say your mama, right?
Right.
In my immaturity, I would say your mama, your daddy, your greasy old granny, and all the dead members in your family.
The whole life.
You hurt me, I'm gonna try to go far and beyond. And that's how I used to be in my immaturity. Yes, so now I try to ignore stuff like that.
Do you think you're hard to get along with? Like if you sat, let's say your last wife down, your ex-wife, and said, look, what made me so hard to get along with? You know, not money issues, not any of those things. Right. Adults, we always have to do those issues.
Right.
But
I did that. Yeah. And she, all of them told me they love the Islam in me. Yeah. They love to get me. But when things is bad, it's bad. That's what they said. You know, and you see, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught Mother Khadijah or Mother Claire, one of the two, I don't know exactly, taught Mother Khadijah how to deal with the minister.
Right.
So if they knew how to deal with me and know how I grew up, you know, even though I didn't serve in the military, and I'm talking about the white man's military, I was a street soldier. Right. So I served on the military from the streets.
Right.
So if you would handle a man from the military with caution, right?
Right.
You should handle a man that you know that's from the street the same way.
Right. I see what you mean. You know, and those in classes, I really believe that is important, because as I reflect, before I even got married, my first time, because I've been married twice, I did not really understand. Well, no, I can't say I didn't understand. I pretty much understood my role. And where I had difficulty with is making an adaptation to her personality. Maybe like I had to learn, like we had a difficult where we lost a child. And I had to really, it was difficult for me to be there to just like hold and hug. So I was already used to death. My father had died when I was like fresh in the nation. Then my uncle died. I lost a whole side within a very short period of time. Right. Before I got married. And my grandfather, so when I got married, my grandfather was the remaining person on my father's side. So I was pretty much already used to death. So when we lost a child, her father told me, look, just be there. And that was hard for me to do.
Wow.
It was hard for me to do. And so
why was that?
Huh?
Why was it?
Because I was so used to hiding how I felt. I was so used to hiding my tears. I wouldn't cry in front of her.
And you know what? My ex-wife told me I wasn't really affectionate.
Yeah.
And I didn't really grow up in a home that showed affection. Even though I was raised with my mother and my big sister.
Right.
I guess because I was her only son and the boy, she was a lot harder on me.
Right.
Then I started gang banging from age 13 to 19. So I never been like, bro, the first time I ever heard a man say, I love you was in the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
My mother, to tell you the truth, my mother never told me she loved me just like, hey, son, I love you. She only told me she loved me when I done something for her. Like her birthday, gave her money. She'd be like, thank you, son, I love you, I love you. But never just came up and gave me a hug and a kiss and say, son, I love you.
Wow.
So I'm not a real affectionate person. And like you, it's hard for me to express my feelings.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I think as artists, we have a way to channel our frustrations, our emotions, the way we see the world through music. I think the artist has that ability to do that through the art, but we sometimes maybe never really developed, because I know I didn't. I even now I've had to learn how to be compassionate, just listen, not really say anything, but just be there. Because I was taught, you don't cry. You know,
all of us.
Yeah, we were taught it.
As boys. You suck it up, suck your tears up.
Yeah, and I don't advise men to cry in front of women.
Right.
Unless under certain circumstances. Have you seen the movie Cadillac Records?
Yeah, I saw that on, yeah.
You remember that part where Muddy Waters' character, the young brother who played the harmonica, he comes home and he realizes he's dead. You remember that part where the
no, I don't.
Well, the harmonica player, he really loved this boy as a son, and because they got famous together, and his wife, they loved him like a son. So when he comes home and they find out he's dead, you can tell how he was like, okay, we gotta bury him. We gotta make sure everything's okay. He's got a plan, and then he goes upstairs, and his wife watches him go upstairs, and he's going up there to break down. And you can hear in the movie, he's like he's just totally breaking down. And the wife is watching it happen, and it's like, why is he not able to do it in front of her?
Wow.
So do you think that is a weakness? Do you think that's something we should do? What is your thought on that?
Man, that's deep, bro. Some women look at a man that cries as emotional, and they look at a sign of weakness. You know, they kind of start losing respect for him. Then some women, it's all about background. Right. Some women, they think that's attractive. You remember Ralph Tresvant from New Edition had a song, Sensitivity?
Yes.
Yeah, he said, you need a man like me, a man with sensitivity. You don't need a man that give you money. All you need is a man like me. Right. Some women want a man like that. But some, Laquita or Tambusha or Shakaria, from the hood, she be like, nigga, suck it up. Right. Stop crying. You a punk? But you a faggot? So it all depends on a woman. That's what you said, key word. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said one of the science the enemy didn't teach us is the science of mating. And I used to think like you, I thought marry somebody in the faith is equally yoked. No, we should marry one in the faith, but we need to find one who is willing to work with us in our vision. Right. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said it takes a woman to help a man make his dream a reality. So we need to find that mate, like a business partner. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we go to business with people with like minds. That's right. We need to go because marriage is a business. So we need to join our company. We two companies coming together, and we got to have like minds. Right. So, and that's why courtship is extremely important. But I say extremely important, but when both parties is truthful, they tell the truth. Right, I see what you mean. Yeah, that is important. Because some people lie in courtship. Like a job interview, how you really need a job, you want the job. your 7 units. Oh yeah, I know. Sister says she know her 7 units, and she don't know how to make a bowl of cereal. She reading the instructions like, should I put the cereal in first or the milk?
Right.
And then she want a man that knows about car, and he like, yeah, I know about car, but brother don't even know how to check an oil. He don't know how to change a tire. He don't know nothing. So he lied to her, and she lied about him, saying, I know brothers told me they found out they wives didn't know how to cook.
Right.
Yeah. They eventually learned, but when they asked that in courtship, the sister lied. Yeah, I know how to cook. And the whole time she had another sister preparing the meals.
Could, as you reflect back on, could all your exes, could they cook?
Yeah, they could. One of them, she wasn't. She learned how to cook before we got married. She wasn't the best cook. Yeah. One could cook her butt off, but she didn't want to cook. She was.
Yeah. So one of them could really cook, but really didn't have the desire to.
Yeah, I mean, she went to school to learn that stuff.
Yeah,
but she watched cook show, but she want cookie. How you watching a cook show? You want cook? You reading books about cooking, baking pies.
Look here,
and cakes.
All my first wife, my second wife, they both could throw down. My second wife could really throw down.
Man.
Really throw down, because she had been a mother already before. And there was many years between us too. She was a little older than I was. And I wouldn't, and that's something I wouldn't ever do again. I wouldn't marry an older woman again.
Man.
And this is interesting because as I think of what I respond to, I really respond like you. My mother was military. She was not the type to just. My grandmother was, and I got that warmth from my grandmother. She was very hands-on. So I am attracted to women like that. And my second wife, very much like that. She's very hands-on. She's like, try this, eat this, just totally involved. And that was extremely attractive to me. It was because it was a need that I had. I need that type of balance to balance me out. You know what I'm saying? Because when I found myself going through Dianetics, I discovered, man, like I grew up in a very cold house.
Wow.
And I had a lot of engrams with the word cold in it.
Wow.
It'd be hot as hell and I'm cold.
Man.
My body cold as shit. When I talk about certain things, I start getting hands get cold.
Wow.
So what you're saying is true. Like, it's having some type of class is important. But specifically, I know something I would want is something that teaches men, how do you show affection? I wouldn't necessarily say emotion, but how you said it was right on the money. Affection.
Right. Yeah. And it's sad, I thought I was showing affection, because me and you both rap, or you used to rap. I wrote love letters, poetry, sent them songs, but I didn't cuddle. I didn't come in and kiss them. I ain't want to watch them girl flicks and TV shows with them all the time. Maybe once a month. I don't want to watch Girlfriends. or Lifetime channel. I didn't want to watch that. So I thought I was being affectionate, and I had two of my ex-wives tell me, you only really show me affection when you want to have sex. I didn't see that. I thought I wrote you poetry. They're like, that was a year ago. I wrote you a love letter the other day because I was mad at you.
Right.
But they want, you buy them flowers and candy, and not just when you make them upset.
Right.
Yes. I know a brother told me he had a setup where he sent his wife flowers every week on a certain day.
Mm.
I said, wow, you're a good man. Every week, and it's coming, out of his account, boom, boom, getting sent.
Right.
And she already looking for him.
Yeah.
And I said, man, you a real good man. And a brother like that, I don't think he going home expecting the baby what's to eat.
Yeah.
I believe a brother like that going home and he already know it's gonna be something to eat.
Well, was that something that like she liked? Or was it like, because there's sometimes like what you just said reminded me of this thing called love language. And it was something in one of the counseling things, I've had to learn about love languages.
Man, I got a book on that. And I ain't finished yet. I read about 5 pages.
Well, because there's quality time,
right?
Words of affirmation, physical touch,
right?
Gift givings. There's some other thing like as you reflect on, let's say your ex-wife, what was her love language as you reflect back, and like what would she say she wanted?
She told me I didn't listen. Like I thought when people tell you something about yourself, you be thinking you do it. I'm like, I do listen to you, but I guess if somebody tells you don't do something, they gotta, you want to believe they telling you the truth.
Right.
She said I didn't really pay attention to her. Hers was like show interest into her. Then I like if she's telling me something, she wanted my undivided attention,
right?
Which I thought I was doing. That's what I thought I was doing. But she said, it seemed like you only listen to respond.
Right.
Yeah. So she was saying our problem, or the problem she had with me, that I didn't listen. I didn't communicate well with her, or better yet, I didn't give her the attention that she wanted. And the attention she wanted was me to listen and respond the way she wanted me to respond.
I see what you mean. Now, her personality type, now I think you also said she was in a ministry class.
Mm-hmm.
So, being that you both had that talk, that nature to express and speak, that's interesting when you got two of the same type, where you're both like speakers.
Right.
But women speakers maybe sometimes are a little different because they still have that desire to want you to listen to them and to like when they say listen to me, like would you be like listening to her and then like your attention will go somewhere else, or you would listen to her and then walk away or something? Like what was it for her?
Well, like she just felt like I wasn't really listening. Like I wanted her to get done, like I wasn't interested to what she was saying. Like I wanted her to get done so I could talk about, what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
And she wanted me to, wanted me to show I was listening. But I guess I was like in Dianetics, when somebody talking, you quiet. So I would just, be quiet, and I'd be like, okay, when you're done, I thought I was doing the right thing. I was like, hey, you was talking. I didn't interrupt. I gave you my undivided attention. Then when I thought you was done, because when you get quiet, then I start talking. But maybe she wanted me not just talk about going to what I wanted to talk about. She wanted me to go into. That was a communication problem right there. Right. She wanted me to talk about what she just shared with me.
That she wanted you to repeat it. Like I see what, and I think then it kind of gets weird.
Right.
Because we're listening. I'm listening to her.
Right.
And she's like, well, tell me what I just said. I'm like, well, okay. So here we go. I started doing some couple counseling. And this one couple came to me, and man, they just argue. just arguing. I mean, she came in crying, arguing. And one thing after listening to him, because you listen to what one's saying. And as a third person, I'm listening and I'm saying to myself, what am I going to be able to say about this? And you know, like what you're saying, not having that knowledge of what is a man, what are the difference between females, how do you properly communicate? Everything's ready to just blow the hell up.
Right.
When you're trying to prove something. So I told the college, listen, the next 30 days, you can't prove no more points. You can't argue. I did the Ramadan thing. You know, what we do in Ramadan. No arguing, no threats of violence, no physical violence. You can't do it for 3 weeks. You know, and so one of them tried to tell me something. I said, no, we're going to talk about it when y'all come back. No arguing. So what, as you reflect back, like, what was your situation like with your ex-wife? Did she work? Did she not work? Would she just have to wait for you to get home? What was the situation?
Well, my first two, they really mainly were staying home wives. You know, my second wife, she worked, but she, you know, she would quit a lot of jobs. It was like she didn't want to work. You know, because, you know, that's their training to be, you know, stay at home. Right. But the problem is, courtship is important. If a brother lay his cards on the table,
right,
and a sister lay her cards on the table, and you don't like the cards, you could accept it or reject it. I always try to lay my cards on the table.
Right.
If a sister, you know, I'm a natural man, so I want a woman. So if I tell the sister, like, I'm interested in you, I want to court you. And she said, I'm interested in you, I want to court you as well. I said, but the problem is, if you're looking for a man to maintain you to the lifestyle you are accustomed to,
right,
I'm not that brother. I probably can maintain you according to my means. That's what I was debating with a sister about the other day.
Yes,
matter of fact, last night. I said, you know, they said, man is maintaining the women. They let her quote that part in the Quran.
Right.
But this one part, they you know how we debate with other people or other religion or like a Christian brother and sister, and you know, they'll say, oh, God didn't make nothing unlawful, right?
Right,
he made everything good. But then you show them like, no, he said that, but it was a deeper meaning. And then you go further, they like, oh, no. They just want to stick on that part. Right. So the point is, I was saying, it does say the men are maintainer of women's, but it goes on to say, according to his means.
According to his means, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I was saying to the sister, so slaves got married.
Yes.
Slaves got married. So if a sister married a slave and he ain't got a lot of money, but he could provide for you according to his means, and you want a mansion instead of living in a hut, then he ain't the brother for you.
Right. That's
true.
That's true.
And then he got to be honest. You know she wants a mansion, but you live in a hut, and you know you can't get her that mansion. You might could get her an apartment, but you know what she really wants. Then if y'all can't come to common ground, then y'all got to agree to disagree that you're not meant to be.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's right. And in that verse, it does say that with what Allah has given him from his endeavors in life, and what he blesses us with.
Right.
And you know, and right after that, it says, and the good women are obedient. You know, so what you're saying is so true. Sometimes I do think that, and you know, brother, because, and I don't know if just overall, there's so many more women than men. And so women sometimes have to learn to be under the means of where their mate is at, where their husband is at. And I've got a chance to meet a female doctor, and I listened to her talk about, you know, what difficulties is. I like asking them questions.
Right.
And she's like almost 40. She's hadn't been married yet. She's a doctor, and she hasn't found a mate in her sphere.
And
the father doesn't really seem to be too concerned, like helping her find a mate, because she's getting to that age, because they say she wants to have a child. And I'm like, how is she going to find a man? Because she hasn't been able to find a man at above her level and deal with him. That part, I know that's got to affect a lot of women. Like, oh my God, I'm all of this that I've worked to become. Now, like, I'm gonna have to submit to the means. And so, what would for men being in a situation to where maybe we don't fit the ideal, what do you think we should expect of women, especially if they say, okay, well, listen, I'm willing to go up under where you live within your means. Have you ever had that type of situation to where, or what do you think of that type of situation where a woman lets that go? Do you think that's something she should do?
Like a woman that's able to maintain herself, got a nice home, say she got a house, and leave our house and go live in an apartment.
Would you suggest a woman do that?
No.
Yeah.
Because I was always told, never go backwards, go forward.
Right.
If she really loved that man and he loves her, why can't he come live with her?
I see what you mean.
You know, even though that's her house, but when they get married, they become one in one flesh anyway. So it's her house, but together is their house.
I see what you mean.
Because they're married anyway.
Yes, sir.
And then the money he was going to use for that apartment, he could use towards that house.
Yes, sir.
And then eventually they could probably sell that house and get a house together.
Yes, sir. Have you seen a situation like that where you saw maybe the husband, the man moved in with the woman, maybe she made more, maybe she had more finances, and
I heard of that.
It worked long.
I heard of that.
Yeah.
Come on, brother. Let's keep it 100. Especially a black man in America.
Right.
You know, Ice Cube said it in one of his own songs. He said he said it as a question. He said, "Why is there more women in college?" And he was saying there was more women in college and more men in prison.
Right.
Right. And then we could bear witness, even in our nation, there's a lot of educated and successful women compared to us.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just say it's 5,000 women, and let's just say it's 5,000 women, 5,000 men. I'm gonna say probably, let's say just say 2,500 of the women is educated. Only 500, or maybe if we're lucky, I'm gonna just really say 500 of the men is educated.
Right.
So what? That's triple the amount. So, and then we already know, and that's why sometimes I get upset. I ain't gonna lie. They want to say I get emotional. I do get emotional and upset because we act like we don't have a real live open enemy.
Right.
Like white people, particularly the white man, it just, change, like he ain't the devil no more. He ain't Satan no more. He's not our enemy no more. We know they would let the black woman succeed and bring her up before the black man.
Right.
And that's in war. That's the art of war, because the woman is the booty.
Right.
Yeah, because they know if they let the woman up, and get her, they could plant their seed. So conscious black women, period, act like we don't have a real live open enemy that's putting obstacles in our path. Even though we are taught, even in the Nation of Islam as FOI, we need to overcome all obstacles in our path.
Right.
But you would think, especially a conscious black woman would know it's harder for brothers to become successful, educated or not. And especially if they know we with the minister.
Right.
My legal name is Damon Muhammad, and I just got my master's degree last year.
Yes, sir.
What I'm making with a master's degree is not fit for a brother like me that, You know, even though I'm not married right now, but I have children. I still got a family.
Right.
It's good for somebody else, a single man, a young man who just graduated, but not me.
Right.
And I know people that I work with, they don't even have a degree, and they make more money than me. Why is that? Because Ice Cube also said in the song, "My skin is my sin." You know, these white men make more money than me. It's not because they more qualified than me. It's because they lighter than me.
Right. Yeah. On average, you know, the average income for white men is almost 11 times, like for the average white man. I'm not talking like way up here. Just average white men make something between 50 and 53,000 a year. An average black man about 40 to 45,000.
Right.
You know, I mean,
and I read I think it was the minister, he gave he broke it down, and he was saying a high school white man makes the same amount of a black man with a bachelor's degree. Ain't that something?
That's right. And I really do like when being able to, like, when I think of my first relationship, my first marriage, she stayed at home. And we didn't have financial problems until I had to change jobs. It's when it got difficult. She started working. And couple that with the I wouldn't even say financial problems, because we always had something. We always had. I think that so many problems just spring up. You don't see it, and how we handle the problem is going to determine if we stay together. Because, man, I was at one point, I was ready to go. She was ready to go. Then we decided to work out. Then she decided to go and leave. You know, and so I think what you're saying is 100% right. It's definitely going to be more difficult, especially when we're not where we want to be already.
Right.
You know, but we want to, because, you know, I listen to a lot of guys who speak on dating, and these are men who may not necessarily want to practice doing the right thing.
Right. They
may not want to follow God's law. So when we're striving to follow God's law, we don't want to go a long time being vulnerable to our own weaknesses.
Right.
So we're working fast, working quick to try to get more for ourselves, and at the same time considering putting ourselves out there.
Right.
You know? So that's that's a difficult balance. It can be difficult, especially if everyone you have to choose from is making so much more money than you are.
Right.
You know? Like as you look back on your exes after y'all separated, how have they done in life in general? Did they go up? Did they kind of stay the same, or did they go down, like in life?
Well, I'm gonna say most of them went up. One, you know, she said she's went up, but I don't believe it. Yeah, I don't see it. But you know, I know my second ex-wife, she went back, got her bachelor's degree. She got a good job. You know, she told me she own property. Yeah. So she's doing good, you know. Yeah, you know, I say my first. Yeah, you know, I think she's doing pretty good. Okay. But my thing is too, guess what? They all left the teachings. So is that really good?
I see what you mean.
You know?
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I think that's a real good point, because I was thinking about my first wife, and I brought her in, you know, and after we went our separate, I mean, and she flourished. I mean, we were pretty much like, even though we were 6 years apart, she was very much active. She opened up a lot of herself to speaking and music. She was already musically trained and whatnot, but we had a lot of fun doing that and the things that we were doing together within the study group. And so when we went our separate ways, and I didn't know this until she told me. I didn't know until she told me that, because before we left the final, we separated and divorced. She said she had a dream that she was buried, that she was in a funeral. She was in my funeral. And on the back of the hearse was the numbers 28 and the number 36. So when she told me this, I was like, am I going to die between 28 and 36? And I was 28 at that time. So that meant I had 8 years, according to what I was thinking it meant. But after we divorced, all communication ceased. She didn't even look at me. She moved on and remarried, had a family. 8 years later, I get a call. You know, she had left, took children and left. And she started asking me, like, did I love her? And I was like, yeah, I did. Of course I loved you. You know, it's just, we had so many difficulties. And her moving on so fast, because your parents know you. Parents were like, we don't know what's going on with her. Like, this is just so weird for them. Like, they didn't want her to move on so fast. She did anyway. And I learned a lot from that situation. Because when somebody separates from each other, it's like best thing to do is just sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I speak to women who are trying to leave it. I'll be like, man, look, just hold up.
Bro, may I say something? Ahead, I don't want you to lose your thought. I don't believe in separation.
Yeah.
Because that's what Satan wants. He wants to divide and conquer.
Right.
If it's getting real bad, like you're going to kill each other, you know, like y'all chasing each other with a knife or a skillet, right. Then yeah. But just because you mad and you separate, see, now that gives Satan an opportunity to creep in. Like, right. Sister over here, you know, and then that's all, you know, another thing I don't believe, man, you know, you could be friends with the opposite sex, male or female, because you venting about this woman and you thinking she's your friend, you know, and she know how to, you telling her what your wife ain't doing. She ain't doing this, she ain't doing this, this what I like, this what I want. And you thinking you just friends. I don't care if she married. I don't care if she married, because when she get dissatisfied at home or she is dissatisfied at home, she gonna take everything you share with her or him and use it.
That's right.
You know, and that happens all the time. And I hear about people separating.
Right.
And that was the cause of 2 of my divorces.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, they probably won't admit it, but I know and they know you was creeping.
There was a third party involved.
Yeah.
That's very true. And you know, I've talked to women who are in 30-year relationships, and I just listen to them. What excuse are you gonna say to leave something that you've been with for 30 years? And you know what a lot of it is? They start judging the man. They start judging him. Then they start to think that, well, things can be better. Things can, and I'm like, you are 53 years of age. Your husband is 8 years younger than you. You're wondering why. And it's weird because sometimes women and men, we don't know why we're attracting who we're attracting. We have children with the people, and it's like we go.
You give me chills.
You know, we go through these eye-opening things that we learn about ourselves, which really we could have learned these things a little earlier. You know, but if you made the decision to stay together, whatever happens, you know, you try to stay together. And for most cases, for women, in some cases, if they were not already high earners or if they didn't kind of have signs that they were going to be high earners, after they leave, they go down. And like in the case of my first wife, that her condition didn't seem to be like it was really good at all. But I learned something from it. I learned how valuable it is to stay with what you got, because it's always grass probably going to be greener on the other side for a little while until you find out what's really going on.
Right.
And even then, it's still, you're gonna have to work with it. You know,
man.
You're still gonna have to
I think we talked about this last time. The minister, you know, I brought up what the minister said. He said, when you leave a man for another man, you only leaving that man for that half that man you leaving doesn't have. Like, say a woman say, I'm leaving you not affectionate, right? So she leaves me for a man that's affectionate, and then she said, dang, he ain't as masculine as Damon. He a little too sweet. He's giving me a cavity. You know, and then she started looking for another man.
Right.
So you going man to man now. Because and that other man you left, you could have worked with him. You know, go to counseling.
Right.
You know, go to counseling and work with him. But, you know, women throw in the towel, and some of them, you know, they are attractive women and they think, I could get me a man. Yeah, you could get a man, but he ain't gonna want you like this other man wants you. See, you could get a man or man, but what do they want?
Right.
They might just want your cookies. And once they get it, they gone. But this man was with you.
Right.
He loved you, you know, but hey, but they don't know too.
Yeah.
They got us outnumbered 11-1. So a man that wants to be with you, not to, you know, sound arrogant, but that's a blessing. That's a privilege. Yeah, because he got 10 other women to choose from. Yeah. But he's spending his time and energy pursuing you or to be with you.
That's right. I see what you mean.
But may I ask you a question? Because you asked me a question. I got a question for you. All right, it's two women, right? One said, I want to be with you. I want to work with you. You know, kingdom's not built overnight. You know, we could build together. There's no I and team. Let's work together. Let's build. There's another woman said, I want to be a stay-at-home wife. I don't want to work. I just want to cook and clean, and I just want to have children. So if you want to be with me, you're going to have to do everything. Right. Which one would you choose? Man. Especially in this day and time.
This day and time? Oh, my initial response is to go with the second one. My initial response is to go with the second one. Because that fits more of like what I want my wife to do. I watch, like, that's why me and my children's mother aren't together. I want her to stay her ass at the house. Even invested money for her to make her own business, which she did. She did it real well. She didn't listen to me at first. She didn't, but then she finally did it. She was building a good home business. Something we could have passed to our children down. Now she wanted to go work though.
Right.
Oh, okay. Want to do, the women get this idea that they're really gonna find something better, which she probably can, but if she finds someone. So to answer your question, I choose that second one, because that second one must already have it in her mind that she wants to just go and be at the house. And I don't mind the pressure.
Right.
I don't mind the pressure. She better be willing, because she's willing to do that. But like, okay, so when things get difficult, these are going to be my follow-up questions to her. If things get difficult and we get tried, not because I'm just out there fucking the money off.
Right.
When things get difficult, there's a brother, Robert in Austin. His wife, Udia. Oh man, this is one of the couples that I just really admire. This sister, my brother Robert told me, he was like, my wife, when we were first having a family, we didn't have a whole lot. She said, whenever them bills started coming home, she would just take them and put them on my side of the dresser and say, I know you're gonna make it happen. She had faith in him.
Wow.
And they're together to this day. And they look beautiful as a couple. They're awesome because they believed in one another.
Man, that's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? That I use that as an example of the kind of type of woman I would like to have.
Me too.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And that second woman you're talking about, possibly, because I know the sister went on to get a degree because she had children, she raised the children, went on to get a degree. So I also think that first one also, though, is a quality of the mindset of someone who knows what it takes to build. You know, but that second one seems a little more inviting because, you know, she wants to focus on making a family, and I've always wanted to be a family man.
And you know, and as I asked you that question, because I've been married a couple of times.
Yeah.
And most of them said the same thing as the first one.
Yeah.
But my most successful marriage that I was happy with was the second one.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Because she put her hands on the table. She put her cards on the table.
Yes.
Told me from the jump what she wanted.
Yes.
And I knew what to expect.
Right.
See, we don't like to expect the unexpected.
Right.
So, you know, the first one, if she says all these wonderful things like a job interview, tell you, yeah, I can make it work. I'll work overtime. I'm not going to be late. But then once you get the job, they switch. You be like, wow.
Wow.
But the first one, but the second one tell you, look, yeah, I'm gonna kind of work, but I'm not working no overtime. You know, I'm not gonna be late, but don't expect me to work overtime. Plus, I want this amount of money.
Right.
In order to work your job, be like, wait, I'm starting off 15. You gonna tell me you want 16? You do you even deserve 16? Right. But you end up saying, you know what? Since you was real and honest with me, I'm gonna give you the job and then I'm gonna give you 16.
Right. You'll give me 16. That's right. That's right. And man, look, both of my second ones, my second one, because she wanted to stay home. She didn't want to work. She wanted to stay at home and make her art, cook food. If she didn't have the problems that she had, I thought I could handle, because I thought I could handle it. I couldn't handle it. It's just too much shit, man. But I would, you know, I'd make sure she had money, things. It was just perfect. But she couldn't have children. You know, so ideally, that's why that second one is just so inviting, because also like what you said, that's another thing because she puts it all on the table.
Right.
Somebody can say they're gonna build, but it's like, well, look, I'm not looking for you to build shit.
Right.
I want you to stay your ass home with the children. I need you to build them.
Right.
So yeah, that's deep, brother. That's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, because we know this is a tough time, but it's tougher when somebody is in deception.
Right.
You know, we want somebody I know my enemy coming to get me, than be ambushed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So
say hi, Amir.
And that's what we really need in courtship, that we need both parties need to be honest.
Right.
You know, and then if a brother really want to be with a woman, he like, well, either I got to find me a better job, or I'm gonna have to work 2 jobs until I get the job I want.
That's right.
Or I'm able to start my own business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's 100%, brother. Brother, one thing I was thinking of is there's a feature on Facebook called Reels. It's kind of like Facebook's own type of TikTok.
Okay.
And that seems to get, like, when I look at views, when I post material on my Facebook views, on my Facebook reels, I get a lot of views.
Right.
And I get some engagement on it. I was thinking of maybe we could start making some posts on our reels with reel to reel. And then, because I was like, oh, wow, because Facebook has something called reels.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. So if we could just take these, I'll edit them. You'd be like, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
And we'll both post it.
Right.
And then we'll go, yeah, I like this one. Go and post it.
Right.
Or no, I don't like this one. How about we change it this? And like, yeah, then we'll just post it.
Right.
Yeah, so we can start building the garner, because these are real good discussions, brother. Like, just talking about it just makes me feel better about it.
And I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. I feel like you're doing some straight wire auditing on me.
Yeah. When you're talking about your life, that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, brother.
You know? Yeah.
And I was saying, this is something we need with bring different men. Yeah. You know, because I talk to different brothers that's single, and some got good jobs, and they said it's hard to find a woman.
That's right.
And I'm like, and I'm thinking, how is it hard to find a woman when they got us outnumbered 11-1?
Right.
And I said, maybe these brothers are just too picky. Yeah, I don't know. I'm picky. My mother told me I'm not picky enough. That's what she told me. She said, son, you picky, but you're not picky enough. And I was like, what she mean? And I thought about it. She said, I said, yeah, I don't always make the, best choices.
Yes, sir.
And suffering, and then us being men of God, being spiritual, brother, because how we grew up, I think as a lot of spiritual brothers and sisters, we tend to look for the good in people.
Right. Yeah.
And overlook the red flags, and think I could help her. Or I could help him. But it's like they're saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. We can't help nobody unless they want to be helped. So I sometimes think, yeah, I'll get with her and I see this and that. Maybe I can inspire her and, help her desire to change. No, she got to want it for herself.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's one of my downfalls.
You got to have them. Yeah, I see.
Thinking I could teach, I could teach her, right. But no, one sister told me that's the MGT job. You ain't assistant captain. She told me I had assistant captain. You can't teach her nothing. That's deep. Yeah, stay in your lane, stay in FOI class and get taught and leave her alone.
Right. We'll work on this as a team. You do it all by yourself. That's deep. Right. All right. Well, what I'll do, I'm gonna start shooting you some edits.
Okay, brother.
Once you give me the go ahead, I'll send it to you. You can just download it. I'll send it to your email, download it, and we can start posting them on the reel. Yeah,
you gonna have to teach me how to do it on the Facebook thing.
Okay.
I post videos, but I see the same videos you talk about because I watch some of them.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how to do that, so you will have to tell me how to do that.
Okay, I will.
Do that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I enjoy this, brother. You lift up my spirit and my tone scale.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. I needed this too, man. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it gets lonely being single.
Yeah. I need a wife. I need that number 2.
Yeah. I'm telling you. You're right, brother.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm gonna make sure I learn a lot from what I went through.
Yes, sir.
Fuck up again. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I'll talk to you soon, brother. Thank you
so much. All right, thank you again. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.